overpower your aura. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
I'll put it
Nah, I'm
back
not
on. I
gaming right
got you.
now, Jay. Nah, you good, you good. I'm not gaming. Yeah, I'll probably be gaming later, but right now I'm just sitting here talking with action.
So what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I had a good rest day today after coming home from Iowa doing a show in Iowa, and I was so tired I didn't get really much sleep, and then I napped pretty much all yesterday, and then today I actually was able to, go to the store, get some groceries, settle in. So it's been cool.
Cool, man. Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to get this started, man. Thank you so much for your time. Um, the biggest thing I want to start off is just obviously for everybody here. So this is AJ Francis. He was in the NFL for was it 7 years, 7 seasons,
Six, yeah,
six
six, yeah.
seasons, 6 seasons in the NFL as a lineman. He also was in WWE as Top Dollar and currently wrestles in TNA under his real name AJ Francis.
Yep, valid, all factual information.
So the first way I want to start this interview. So the way I wanted to do it is I wanted to start like kind of from the beginning. I wanted to start
Uh huh.
football, dabble into the WWE stuff, the TNA stuff. I also wanted to talk music as well.
Cool.
My understanding is, and I've listened to it, is that you dropped an album back in October, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on that
Sure did.
album, you had the trilogy Bun B.
Sure did.
You also had Trick Williams, who,
Trick Willie was also on the album, also valid.
yep, his music career is kind of taken off with this Lil Yachty collab, huh?
Exactly. Shout out
Yep.
him.
So that's cool. And then the other thing that I thought was really interesting on that too is that you had Zilla Fatu on there.
I did, in fact, have Zilla on there. All these verses. Well, Bun recorded his at his studio, but all these, the Trick verse and the Zilla verse, both of them came to my house to record their verse for the
Sweet.
song. So
I actually
it was
really
cool.
liked I really liked Zilla's flow on that song. I really did. It was very
Yeah, me too.
unique. I liked it a lot. All right.
Yeah,
So
Zilla is a man.
when somebody asks who is AJ Francis, what is your answer? Because you've been in so many different things.
Honestly, I really feel like all the things that I've been able to do are so cool individually.
Mm,
Um, Between wrestling and football and making music and even some of the other stuff I've done, if if those were the only accomplishments I'd have, I think it would still be really cool. But the fact that I've done so much, I consider myself just blessed in the sense that like I am able to do multiple things that people wish that they could do in
100%.
their lives. And I'm just very grateful for the fact that like I'm able to do them. And also, like Conan just said, TNA viewership last week, 286K. Hey man, most watched show in 8 years for TNA. Shout out, AJ versus Moose being billed all week.
That's right. I know you were doing a lot of promo for that as well, and I thought that the Tom Brady voicemail that you played was absolutely
Oh
hilarious
yeah,
on the build up to that.
100% true, real call from Tom Brady that I got. And let's also talk about the fact that the time, like the effect that I have on people's wrestling career is crazy. Like, look at where Joe Hendry is after messing with me, right? Look where
True.
Mike Santana is after.
True.
Look at Trick Williams after coming to TNA and working first class, right? Look at Nick Nemeth. I mean, he was already good when he got there, but he two-time world champion. You know what I'm
Yeah, I was
saying?
just saying, Dolph, come on.
That one was already good. That one was already good. Look at where Casey Navarro's career is taken now. He's getting a world title shot on Thursday. Look at Rich Swann. Rich Swann himself said that I took his career out of the gutter and made it so right. So like now I mentioned Tom Brady on TNA, and 2 weeks later he's
What
gonna
happened at
wrestle.
Fanatics Fest? What happened?
He's gonna wrestle versus Logan Paul. Apparently, I'm just saying
Mm.
the AJ Francis effect is crazy. I'm
Who's
telling you.
hotter?
Nah, I'm telling you.
Hey, you know what's crazy about that too is I was at TNA Slammiversary when it was in Long Island when you were in the ladder
Hmm.
match, dude,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you had a spot, you had a spot in there, and I have it on my phone somewhere, so I'm gonna have to scroll back and send it to you in the DMs. But you had a crazy spot that I with the
Hmm.
ladder where you kind of went
Craziest spot ever.
from the top of the ladder all the way to the outside. So walk me through that.
Uh-huh.
Like, what was going through your head in that moment?
So what was supposed to happen was, so KC was already injured at this point. But if you go back and watch the match, KC's injured in the match, and um, he can only do but so much. He does punches and kicks and hits people with chairs because he couldn't really do a lot, right? So he hurts his knee even more in the match. And as he's climbing up the ladder, right? Like I'm realizing that he's like legit, like it's just gonna be tough for him to do. Like he almost didn't do the spot at all. So when he's climbing up the ladder, um, Trey Miguel and um no, it was actually just Trey. Trey was like, yo, they're saying don't push you. They're saying don't push you. I think Zach said it too, but they're saying don't push you, get down, don't take the bump. And Casey just looked at him and was like, just push the fucking ladder, bro. You know what I'm saying? So when Casey said that, like I'm like, all right, so I guess we're going. So at this point, I'm watching all this unfold because I'm on the ladder already, and I'm not really sure how this is gonna unfold. So I'm trying to like pay attention. And I didn't climb up. My left leg didn't get up to like I needed to be like on the third rung, and my right foot was there, but my left foot wasn't there because I was just watching this all unfold. I didn't know what was about to happen. So when they start pushing the ladder, I realized, oh my shit, my foot is not in the right spot. So I'm looking, I'm like, yo, if I don't jump, I'm gonna trip over this fucking rope, right? So I decided to jump, and as I'm jumping, I realize I'm not gonna be able to rotate in time. So like literally, and people don't understand, like it also comes from playing football and being in the NFL. What up, Connor? Is the fact that like you make split second decisions in athleticism that like you have to make on the fly. And I was literally on the fly because I was jumping off of a ladder, right?
Right.
So as I'm jumping, I'm realizing I'm not gonna be able to rotate my body and like fall through the ladder. So I'm gonna try to land through the ladder because I knew because I set those ladders up. It's off camera, so you don't see it. But I'm the one that set those ladders up. So I knew both the both the ladders were supposed to be already like broken. But the one KC was landed on actually ended up not being broken because the broken one was not in the right position. So my ladder I knew was broken. So I knew that when I jumped on it and I landed through it, if I just rolled with it, the ladder would snap and I'd be okay. If that was a not broken ladder, I probably would have broke my legs, right? But I knew that I'd be fine. So, but like when everybody's watches that clip and they see it over and over again, and people send it over and over again, they think I'm dead. And the funny thing is like I knew that it was gonna look gnarly, but I also knew I was 100% fine. And actually, KC was like legitimately hurt. So I was like trying to be like make sure he was okay. Like after I landed, I crawled over to him. Like as soon as I landed, they were like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, is KC okay?" Like I'm perfectly fine. But then I like crawl away so I can see the jumbotron and see the instant replay. And when I looked up, I'm laying on the ground, literally laying on the ground, watching instant replay like this from the jumbotron, and I see it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, everyone thinks I'm dead." I was like, "This is fucking awesome." So then I crawl over to KC. I'm like, "KC, you good?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "All right." I was like, "Soon as this bell rings, I'm gonna pick you up and I'm gonna carry you to the back." So we just laid there waiting for the match to end. And then once the match ended, I carried him to the back, and it was so funny because I literally carried him like a new bride to the back, right? And I sit him down in a chair, and his knee is legit. Like his ACL's torn. Like his knee is legit fucked. And meanwhile, I'm like perfectly fine. But everybody's like,
Asking you if you're okay.
AJ, are you okay?
Right.
Are you okay? I'm
Well,
like,
that's
no,
because
I'm
it was an
cool.
insane. First of all, how tall are you? Right, you're like 6'9".
6'5", 6'5". In
6'5"?
real life,
Okay.
6'5".
So okay, yeah. So I was doing the build height right now. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're a big guy, right? And so you're going from the top of the ladder, from the top of the ring, all the way down to the floor. So of course people are going to ask you, are you dead?
Yeah. 100%. But that's what the funniest part is. Like Casey's legitimately injured, and everybody's like, "AJ, are you fine?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Casey, go check out Casey. I'm perfectly okay."
Right. Guys, this is the Action Talk Sports Debate Show. We are live here almost every single night on TikTok. I am here with AJ Francis, former NFL player, current TNA wrestler. AJ, I wanted to ask you, what is one thing people think that they know about you, but it's completely wrong, without
Um,
giving away,
that's a great question.
the industry.
Um, I mean, industries gave away. It's not real, bro. Anybody? I mean, it's just not.
Okay,
It's
fair
not
enough.
real. I don't. I'm not one of those people that pretends wrestling is real. I lose to people way smaller than me way too much for wrestling to be real. So, um, one thing that I think people wouldn't know about me. I well, oh no, that's not what you asked. You asked what's one thing people think they know about me, but they have absolutely wrong.
Yes.
Um, oh, I hear stories all the time. I've been told stories from wrestlers that were told that I kicked down Vince's door and told him, "You better bring back B Fab," which never happened. Right? These stories that have been told about, like
Well, good job, because it worked. You did a great job.
I heard, I heard literally, actually, I heard from Trick Williams that he was told that the story was that when I found out B Fab got fired the first time, I kicked down Vince's door and demanded that he hired B Fab. This never happened. This thing never happened. I had 3 conversations with Vince McMahon in the entire time that I was employed by WWE.
Wow.
Two of them were like 1 word long. One of them was while I was
Top
filming
dollar.
Most Wanted. One of them was while I was filming Most Wanted Treasures at headquarters in Stamford, and that was literally 1 word long. The other time was randomly in passing after I first got called up, 1 word long. And then the other time was a conversation we had in the hallway after BFAB was fired, where he basically was like, "Yo, like this is a show. This is the role I need you guys to play. The 3 of you guys talking to me, Tahuti, and Swerve." And he was like, "That's just what it is. It's just a show. Like, you know what I'm saying? The show must go on," type shit. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, there was never any unpleasantries. I never, like, people want me to say bad things about Vince. Like, I have no personal accounts of Vince
Mm.
McMahon like doing anything to me, right? Like, or saying anything to me. Like, so that's one thing that I think is hilarious that people pretend is a real thing, that I like kick down Vince's door. That never happens. But I know that it had to spread like wildfire, because why would Trick Williams be told that story?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, from secondhand from somebody. It's just hilarious to me. So
Right. So going back to the beginning of your journey, like how early in your life was football a part of that?
I really didn't start playing football till I was like 12, because where I'm from in Maryland, now it's different, but back then it was weight limit. And I wasn't always a chubby kid. I didn't really get chubby till like middle school, but I was always really tall. So just being tall, I was heavier than kids that were smaller than me. So when I was 5 years old, I would have had to play with 10-year-olds. And my dad was like, "Fuck no, we're not gonna do that." So my I played soccer in the fall until I was 12 years old. And then when I turned 12, I started playing football. And it really helped a lot, because you need good footwork to play football, and just in life in general, and wrestling. And so it helped a lot to play soccer at a young age. But yeah, I started playing football when I was 12, and I first started playing quarterback, and I was great. But then I got a little heavy. I got a little heavier the next year. So the next year I was a fullback, and that was fun. And then I got a little heavier. So the next year after that, I was a tight end in 8th grade. And then I got a little heavier. And then in my freshman year, I started at left tackle and nose guard, and I never looked back. So
Never look back.
I I played line the rest of my life.
So at what point in that journey, like maybe what year in high school or whatever, did you realize, okay, playing this at the college level is a very real possibility? And then at what point did you think to yourself, man, I actually have a shot to be in the NFL here?
First of all, I want to say what's up to all the people saying what's up in my chat. Shout out Prince, shout out Albert, shout out Ivan, even though he loves to pretend that I'm going to be AJ Hendry. That's never going to happen. Shout out Jason. Um, so I realized that I could play in the NFL after my redshirt freshman year at Maryland, because actually, really, it was kind of my freshman year at Maryland, because I got redshirted, but I was in practice like making plays on dudes that were like starters in like all conference and like really good. And then after my freshman year, a dude that I had played against a bunch, named Phil Costa, who later in life randomly ended up dating Brooke Hogan, which is hilarious.
Wow. How about
Um,
that?
but Phil Costa played. He ended up leaving Maryland and going to play for the Dallas Cowboys while I was still a redshirt freshman at Maryland. So I'm sitting here like, yo, if Costa can play for the Cowboys and he was a senior and I was a freshman, I know for a fact that when I get a chance, I can play in the league. So I really started taking it way more serious. Like it was a goal when I was in high school, but after my freshman year at Maryland, I was like, yeah, I can really actually play in the league. Let me like actually see if I can get this done. So
Okay. And what was your first like welcome to the NFL moment in your head?
my first, I mean, I got in a fight with Mike Pouncey. I think it was like the first day of OTAs
I
that
was gonna
we
say
had
would that have
like,
been at practice because you started with the
yeah,
Dolphins, correct?
yeah. It was the Dolphins. So I think it was like the first day we had like one-on-ones in OTAs. It was I was a backup nose guard, and the starter was Paul Soliai, and Paul Soliai had just been paid like you know Paul Soliai had just been paid like $13 million to play nose guard. Somebody in the chat said Aaron Donald just signed a $29 million all guaranteed 1 year deal. That's cool, but Paul Soliai was making like $13 million at nose guard. So in OTAs, he decides he don't want to do nothing, right? And I can't really blame him because he trying, conserve his legs and get to the money in the season. So the cool thing is because I'm his backup, like I'm getting all of his
You're getting the
reps that
reps.
normally would go to the starter. So I'm going against Mike Pouncey, so who just signed a $60 million deal. So I'm going against Mike Pouncey. In the first rep I do with him one on ones, I'd lose the rep. Like I wasn't going to win, but he pulled me down to the ground on some like welcome to the NFL rookie type shit. And I got up and I was like, all right, you got me. You know what I'm saying? You won that rep. All right, respect. So then I go against him again. And the second time, I'm actually about to win the rep. Like I'm about to beat him in the one on one, and he pulls me down to the ground again. So now I get up and I'm mad and I'm in his face. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, hey man, that's how we do. Got to play through it, man. Play through it. He's like, oh, let's bullshit. And I'm sitting there mad, but I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck this up. Like I'm an undrafted free agent. Like they don't owe me anything. That he just signed $60 million. Like I'm not gonna fuck this up, man. So I go back to where the D line is, and the D line coach, I'll never forget, Casey Rogers changed my life. Casey Rogers comes up to me, and goes, hey, now I know you got a little bit of a situation here. You know, you don't got no money owed to you, and man just signed a $60 million deal, so you're in a tough spot. But let me tell you something: ain't no bitches gonna make this team, and that's all I had to hear. Like you know what I'm saying? So the next time I lined up on Mike Pouncey, I lined up in a zero technique, which if you don't know football well enough, that means I lined up directly over the nose of the center, like directly over the ball on defense. And as soon as he snapped the ball, we have no pads on. We just have spider shells, so you're not supposed to bull rush. As soon as he snapped the ball, I bull rushed the shit out of him and ran him all the way back to the O line. And by the time we got to the O line, he had already ripped my helmet off and was about to hit me with my own helmet. But by the grace of God, the God told him not to hit me, and he just dropped it. And then we just started wrecking, and then the O line D line conversion, pull everybody apart. But that was like my first day on the Dolphins. And the funny thing is, like after that, me and Pouncey became cool. Like Pouncey knew I wasn't no punk bitch. Like you know what I'm saying?
So you
Like
had a
they knew I
Miles
was.
Garrett moment before Miles
Yeah,
Garrett.
yeah. Like we had a. We was really going. It was really like from that moment on, it was like a level of respect. So it was like that's how it is in all things.
Cool.
What up, Nick?
Guys, this is the Action Talk Sports Debate Show. We are live here almost every single night on TikTok. I'm here with AJ Francis. Make sure you hit that follow button if you're new here. We got comments coming in the chat. We're going to ask these questions to AJ at the end of the interview. What is the biggest lesson you learned in football in life that also translated to the start of your wrestling career?
Um, the value of hard work. The amount of work that I put in to become a professional football player is like years of dedication to my craft, right? And I got better every year, and that's why I was able to keep going. Like the AJ that was a senior at Maryland could only like let me rephrase. The AJ that was like a sophomore at Maryland couldn't have played in the NFL, but I just kept getting better right? And by the time I got to the NFL, I got so much better between by the beginning and end of my rookie year that by year two I was like, oh, I belong here, right? I wasn't like it wasn't a question anymore. Like, oh man, am I going to survive? Like I knew it was. And by year six, if I hadn't started wrestling training, I probably because when I started wrestling training, my agent told me that the Browns and the Raiders actually wanted to sign me. Like I was like a month into my training, and he was like, "Yo, the Browns and the Raiders want to sign you to end the season," because it was like the last 2 3 weeks of the season, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good, man. Like I'm straight. Like I'm just I like this wrestling. I'm just stick with wrestling." And the funny thing is, if I would have went back to the NFL, like I know I would have played on either one of them teams because I was so good by the end of my fifth year. It was like cheating. It was like I studied so much film and I knew so much that like I would go out there and know when a play was coming and I would make the. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I would have definitely played like my last. It's so funny because like my last game ever in the NFL at nose guard, I had 6 tackles, and in the 8 years since, there's only been like 3 nose guards in the entire NFL that have had 6 tackles in a game.
Mm,
Right, so it's like my last game was literally like one of my best games.
mm.
So it's like I could have played longer, but I loved wrestling so much,
So
and
how did
like
that opportunity come about, right? Like had you always been a wrestling fan or somebody approached you? Like how did that transition
yeah,
from the NFL to wrestling happen?
I was always a wrestling fan, and so I used to my buddy used to throw these parties, and at crazy ass parties, and then at the parties he'd have like a wrestling show, like outside, like he lives in a mansion, and then inside's the party and outside would be a wrestling show before the party, right? So he was like, "Yo, come be on a wrestling show. I know you like wrestling," and I was like, "All right, cool." So I came and I came up with this whole character named Sugar Bear, which was just a ripoff of Suge Knight because the reason why Suge the reason why Suge Knight was called Suge is because his grandma used to call him Sugar Bear, right? So I came up with this whole character about being Sugar Bear, and we came out. My crew was called the Row, and we all came out dressed like Bloods, and it was a crazy thing. And like I was in a battle royal, and I won the battle royal. And as after the show, I'm in the back, and 2 guys, Ray Zion and Jason Dugan, were like, "Yo, so where's your home promotion?" And I was like, nah, I don't have a home promotion, dog. This is like my first match. Like, I really never done this before. He was like, oh, okay. He's like, all right, well, where you been trained at? And I was like, oh, I never trained, bro. Like, I just know how this is supposed to look. I'm very athletic type shit. Like, it'll be cool. I knew it would be cool. And they were like, wait, so you just did all that? You've never trained nowhere? And I was like, yeah. They were like, well, we don't want to tell you what to do because you got the NFL and everything, but you should probably give wrestling a shot, man, like for real, and go to a school. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh shit, maybe I should. So like a week later, I started looking around, called into Team 3D Academy in Kissimmee, Florida, or owned by the Dudley Boys. Now it's called Devon Dudley Academy. It's just owned by Devon. And I just started my training. A year later, I was signed to WWE. So like it was like just like that.
Just like that. So on your wrestling journey now, like what do you think has like this version of AJ Francis from the WWE version or the beginnings before WWE? Like what has changed the most?
Now I just get to like now 95% of what you see from my character has come directly from my brain.
Nice,
Right, and
love that.
there's like a 5% of, well, this is what we need you to get across for the storyline, and how about you think about say something like this but like put it in your own words, but like 90 from the wrestling to the wardrobe to the how I present myself to like even expressions being a part of what I'm doing now, like all of that is just straight from here. Like
So they're
TNA is
giving
the
you that
perfect
creative freedom.
yeah, TNA is the perfect place where if you can really do it, if you're really one of them ones, you're gonna
Yeah.
shine in TNA. That's why you got guys like Mustafa Ali looking so great in TNA. You know what I'm
I
saying? That's
loved
why,
him. I loved him in WWE. Like I'm so
yeah,
glad he's doing his thing over there in TNA, bro.
exactly.
I like those guys. I always like the guys that like are at the mid card that you think needs to get that push. Like it's Rey Mysterio is my favorite wrestler of all time. It's crazy to me that now, as a 30-year-old, a father of a 4-year-old, I'm watching wrestling and Rey Mysterio still on the television when I was that kid. You know what I'm saying? So that's he hasn't missed a beat, right?
Bro, he looks the same, bro.
Now it's insane. It's
He
incredible.
actually looks better now than when like during his like world title run. Like it's crazy. Like
Yeah, physique
he,
wise for
he,
sure.
he's it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. So you mentioned it before. What was the name again of the show that you did for WWE? The Treasures?
Oh, WWE's Most Wanted Treasures.
Yeah, Most Wanted Treasures. So I love that show, and you're by far the best part of that show, by the way. But on that show, what was like the coolest thing for you? Because you do a really good job from episode to episode of like building up the hype, and like whoever your guest co-host is on that, like having the rapport of like really the journey and the grind to go and to find this thing. But what had AJ Francis most hype?
So first of all, a lot of people come up to me and
We lost your audio for a second here.
you got it.
Yeah.
A lot of people come up to me and say that I was the best part of that show, right? But the thing is like the reason they feel that way is because I was them in their eyes, right? So it's
Sure.
like at the time I was nobody knew that I was training, right? And it's funny because it barely even mentioned that I had played in the NFL in the show, right? They just had me as like the host of the show, but they barely even mentioned like who I really was, right? So because of that, like as the audience, when you watch it, like you view yourself through my eyes. And I knew that going in. So like even though there was a lot of things, I'm just being honest, there's a lot of things that we like went and searched for that I could not give two fucks about. Right. But as the host of the show, I'm not going to let you see that. Like when you see it, you're like, oh my God, AJ really loves this thing. I really didn't care about most of it. But it's the fact that I'm really good at my job of like, wow, I can't believe that we finally found what we're looking for. Like, this is amazing. Like we traveled all this way. Like, what could we possibly do to get you to give that over to back, so we could put this in the Hall of Fame? Like, but I don't actually care, right? I'm just really good at the job. So what happened a lot of times is I didn't really care. But the thing is, there were a few things that I genuinely thought were really cool. Like, and the funny thing is, a lot of stuff, like some of the best stuff, didn't even make the show. Like, for example, my favorite thing that I did was when we went to Undertaker's storage unit, right?
Yes.
And we found a lot of really cool shit in Undertaker's storage unit that did make the show. But the thing that we found, the best thing that we actually found in there was at Undertaker's storage unit, he had so much shit from Yokozuna. And I loved Yoko. Like, if you watch my work, the way that I sell, go watch Yoko. Like, that's the reason that I do that, right? So, like, people don't realize that, but it's like, that's the reason why. Like, I borrow so much from Yoko, right? So, like, that being said, like, Yoko's stuff was, like, so cool to me. And unfortunately, none of that made the show. There are also so many funny other instances that, like, just because I don't want to put the guys on blast, I can't say publicly, but just know that me and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Booker T had a hell of a time at Hacksaw's house. And Hacksaw's whole section didn't even make the show. So it's like, there's just a whole bunch, there's so much that I could talk about on that show that was amazing. But to be honest with you, like, the vast majority of this stuff, like, I only cared because it was like, I wanted it to feel important to the viewer
Yeah. Well, you
because
did a good
that is
job
the
on
point
that.
of the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what I'm
You did a
saying?
good job on that. I love that show, man. I've watched a lot of those episodes multiple times. So even if you were pretending, I appreciate it, and you did a good job.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm a good actor, man. Now, there were some things that I, like, really thought were cool. Like, there was a lot of things that I really thought were cool. But there were some things that, like, I watch it back myself and I'm like, damn, I am a good actor.
Didn't was
Because,
it Bob Backlund? Right? What was he like?
uh-huh.
He was weird,
He was
right?
in character the whole time.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
Bob
think it's a
Backlund,
character. I just think he's like lost
I
it, you
honestly,
know?
honestly, actually, I don't think it's a character either. Because
Yeah.
when I was coming up, like we were driving up. It's funny because it's in the show. I'm driving up with Sarge, and Sarge is like, "Hey man, be careful. You're gonna put you in the chicken wing." And in my mind, I'm like, Sarge, shut the hell up, man. This old ass man ain't finna do nothing to me, right? And we get in there, and we get to talking, and I'm sitting there minding my business, and he just grabbed me in the chicken wing real quick. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I just go to hide behind Sarge. That was hilarious.
All right, so I want to do a couple. I don't want to. I know we only have a little bit more time here, and I want to get some of these other questions in from my audience as well. But I do have a couple like rapid fire ones that I want to ask you.
Okay.
The first one is what locker room had more ego, the NFL locker room or the WWE locker room, or a wrestling locker room in general?
Um, Honestly, for different reasons, it's a tie.
Okay,
Like for completely different reasons. Because in the NFL, there's a lot of egos because everybody is like the top of their class and like and it's literally a gladiator sport.
sure,
So you kind of have to have ego or you're gonna get ran the fuck over.
sure.
In WWE, or not just in WWE, but just in wrestling in general, like that same ego applies, but it's based off make believe underwear fighting. So it's it's misplaced a lot of times, but the egos are still there.
Okay, not including yours, which is one of the best choke slams in the business. What's your favorite finishing move?
First of all, it's the best choke slam in the business.
There you
Second of
go.
all, my favorite finisher move that's not mine. Um, that's a good question. Uh, I like. This might sound crazy because it's not really a finish no more, but the Superman punch that
Okay,
Roman does. I
okay.
love the super. I think it's like when you watch that move in slow motion, it's like the coolest move. Like
There's just a
it's
little
the
bit too
coolest move.
much buildup for me. Like the
Uh,
all the like it's a little
uh,
much, but it does look cool. Wrong answer though. The correct answer is the RKO. Obviously, you missed the boat on that one.
RKO is a great one. RKO is a great one. I always wanted to get RKO, but I never got RKO.
All
So
right. I'm gonna. This is my last. This is the most important sports question you're ever gonna be answered. Okay, so I need you to lock in here, AJ. All right,
okay,
very
I'm locked.
important.
I'm locked.
And then I'm gonna get into questions from my chat. All right. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, it's a hot dog.
Everybody gives
I've
that
heard,
answer, bro. I
I've
swear
heard
to
this
God, bro.
narrative. I've heard this narrative, and I don't agree. I don't agree with the narrative. I don't. I don't.
Okay.
Hot dog's a hot dog, bro. It's its own thing. Stop trying to make fetch happen, Gretchen. It'll never happen.
Pineapples on pizza.
Never. You and Jordan Grace, y'all both crazy.
Guys, this is the Action Talk Sports Debate Show. I am live with AJ Francis, former NFL player, current TNA wrestler. Hit that follow button if you haven't already. The Action Pack is on the road to 1,000 followers. AJ, thank you so much for your time. I got some questions from my chat here. Okay.
Cool. All right.
Who is the big? I actually don't know the context for this, so let me rephrase this one. This is the question, and then I'll change it. Who's the biggest wrestler you've been in a room with? I guess maybe from status. We'll go from there.
Status. I mean, The Rock. That's not even close. But size wise, would be Omos. He's the biggest human that's ever existed.
Yo,
And
yes.
people tell me that people have existed bigger than Omos, but I ain't never seen it, so I don't believe it.
Definitely that
So
doesn't. Definitely that's not athletic. There's definitely people
mhm,
who've been like 8 feet tall or whatever, but normally they
don't
don't
believe
live
it.
long. They don't live
Don't believe
long,
it.
and they definitely
I don't
can't
believe it.
move.
Unless I see it with my own eyes, I don't believe it. Because too
Fair
many
enough.
times I've heard people be like, "Oh, he's 7 foot tall," and the guy's like 6'9". Omos is legit 7'3". He's the biggest human to ever exist, and I refuse to believe anyone's bigger than him.
What is the biggest difference? I think you kind of touched on this. So if you did, what's the biggest difference between TNA and WWE? Is it that creative freedom?
Definitely creative freedom, but I think it's also a little bit of like the brotherhood in the locker room, and not that there's not a bad locker room in WWE, but everybody has, for lack of a better term, their own clique that they hang
Mm,
out with, and their own people that they hang out with. Um, and people really, it's very rare that people like you see the entire roster doing anything together that they're not being paid to be there for. But at TNA, like the entire roster hangs out all the time. Like
that's awesome.
we'll go bowling. We hang out in the lobby, play cards, or drink, smoke cigars. Like
That's awesome.
it's very cool.
A lot of camaraderie there.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite sports memory of all time? Either in your careers or just as a fan, what's your favorite sports memory of all time?
Um, my favorite sports memory of all time. It's funny because at the time I was a Cowboys fan, as a kid growing up. And me and my dad went to a Cowboys Redskins game. And it's funny because I eventually ended up playing for the Redskins. So it's funny that this is my favorite because at the time I hated it. But the Cowboys were kicking a field goal to win the game and it got blocked. And Sean Taylor, rest in peace, picked it up and started running it back. And when he got tackled, he got face masked. So they added 15 more yards on. So then the Redskins kicked the game winning field goal one play after the Cowboys were going to kick a game winning field goal, which is like the craziest swing. It's
Nice.
like the craziest swing of anything that ever happened. And like, obviously, when you find out what happens with the rest of Sean Taylor's
Sure.
life and career, it makes that moment a little bit more special. So, yeah, I would say that. But I've done a lot of crazy stuff, man. I've been to World Cup games. I've been to baseball classic games. I've seen soccer games all over the world. But I think that would probably be my favorite one.
So it's not the butt fumble, just to be
It is, in fact,
okay.
not
All right.
Mark Sanchez's bum fumble.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear on that. If you could have a if you could have a wrestling dream match with an original ECW person back in their prime when ECW was ECW, who would it be?
It would be Tommy Dreamer, and because I talked to Tommy today, and the reason why it would be Tommy is because Tommy was one of the few people that when I left WWE, like really tried to make sure that people knew that I was actually as good as I say I am. And he went out of his way to do that. So I owe a debt of gratitude to Tommy for that and his time in TNA.
Have you ever gone up against Todd Gurley? Somebody in my chat asked.
I did. I actually did think I win against Todd Gurley in the preseason for the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Also, hold on. In my chat, some Colton says, "Hey man, I was wondering if you had any advice following a breakup after dating for 1.5 months." Um, hey Colton, man, the wise philosopher Gucci Man once said, "Hoes is like buses. You miss one, 15 minutes later, another one's coming." Right. So if you only dated for a month and a half, gang, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I ain't saying she was a hoe, but what I am saying is, why don't you just find you another bus, gang? You know what I'm saying? Just find you another bus, gang.
Have you ever tackled Tom Brady? And I really hope the answer is yes.
No, I've never tackled Tom Brady because I was the most times I played against him were like in practice when I was
Practice,
on the
right? And you're
Patriots.
not allowed
And
to.
yeah, not allowed to. Now there's times I could have lit his shit up, but no, I would have lost my job, right? So no, I've never tackled Tom Brady. Um I did I did almost intercept one of his passes on accident. And out of respect, I didn't because it was a screen pass in practice. And I was like, oh, I could really pick this bitch off and be like, yo, I
Just
picked
batted
off
it
Tom
down.
Brady.
He's like, man, like that was
No,
a
I
career
didn't
move,
even.
by the way.
I literally didn't even try to catch it. I literally like it was like I played the screen and then I like broke on the. I like played the screen. I realized because the thing about I was always really good at stopping screens because I'm big as shit. And the only reason you would ever not block me is because it's a screen. Like the only reason you would ever not block me is because it's a trap or a wham or a screen. So if you don't block me and I'm not getting ear holed by somebody else, I know for a fact that this is a screen. So I would just look. It would depend on if you get lucky. You can either look left or right. And when you look, if you see somebody turned around looking like this, like throw me the ball, you know where the fucking ball's going, right? So I would saw the running back and I was like, oh shit! And I put my foot in the ground and I broke on it. And turned around and I saw the ball coming. And I was like, in the moment, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to pick off Tom Brady. And then I'm like, I put my hands up like this, like to catch it. And I was like, just stop running and put my hands down and let the running back catch it. Because it's practice and they need the reps for practice, right? But in my mind, I was like, yo, I'm about to pick
You already
off
had the
Tom
pick
Brady.
six in your
Oh
mind.
my
You
God.
were you were taking it to
I
the
was
house.
to the
You had the
crib.
celebration ready.
I did. I was going because at that time me and Gronk had
You can
become
do
cool.
truffle shuffle.
I was gonna Gronk spike the shit out of the ball in practice. I was gonna Gronk spike the shit out of the ball.
All right, I'm going to give you 3 more, as I know we're up on time here. Okay, do you like what Danhausen's doing with WWE right now?
I love what Danhausen's doing. Danhausen is perfect for wrestling because not everything has to be serious, right?
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So your wrestling journey right now, what if you had to grade like where you are right now and put it into, let's just say, one word, what would that one word be?
Uncrowned. I'm the best big man in the
Tough.
business. I'm the best big man in the business, and the only thing I'm missing is the stamp that proves it. The TNA World Title proves it. So I'm just the uncrowned king right now, and that's I'm just waiting for that.
Okay. And the last question that I'll have for you, AJ, is give me a wrestling Mount Rushmore. Your wrestling Mount Rushmore.
Okay, so when people say wrestling Mount Rushmore, they have different things. They expect you to say like who are the people like the best who your favorite wrestlers, and I could do that one too. But what I like to do as a wrestler, instead of saying who my favorite wrestlers were, I like to put a Mount Rushmore of guys that have helped me out the most
Love that. Let's do that.
in my career. So number one, I'm gonna go Booker T. All right. I still work at Reality Wrestling to this day. Shout
Five
out
time.
Booker.
5 time.
Exactly. Number two, like we said earlier, Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer has helped me out more than a lot of people in my time in wrestling. Um, More than pretty much everybody. Number three, I actually talked to today, who's also had my back more than a lot of people, is Mark Henry.
World's strongest
So
man.
world's strongest man. So I would say Booker T, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry, and then for the fourth person, I would say Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, especially since I've come to TNA, Matt Hardy has had my back so much and is one of my biggest supporters and fans. So like I would definitely put Matt on that list. So
I
the
love
four
that
guys that have
list.
helped me out most in my career are Booker T, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, and Matt Hardy.
I love that list. Guys, this is the Action Talk Sports Debate Show. I am live on TikTok almost every single night. We have just had an interview with AJ Francis. AJ, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey, man, and I appreciate you. This has been a lot of fun. We can do it again sometime.
Absolutely, bro. I was waiting for you to say that. AJ Francis, everybody, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't already.
Peace. Peace.
Thanks, brother. Well, that was pretty cool, huh? Not bad, huh? All right, guys. So, what did we think? I thought AJ was very real. President Nixon. I totally forgot about that, bro. My bad. That was so cool. Excellent job. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much. Awesome interview. Great work, brother. It was pretty good. You're good. Yes, he's better in person than I thought he'd be. Awesome. No, that was so much fun. I liked how real he was. Super proud, excited for you. Thank you guys so much. You got it recorded, bro. Thank you.